Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to review the POKT, the Pocket Network, and I'm going to review whether or not I think it will have price performance. So this is the top-down view of my model, color-coded so that you can see which aspects I think are green. And you can see that most of this project is green, which means it is a strong project. And what I'll do is I'll go into the summary. So what is the Pocket Network? It is a decentralized RPC protocol for any blockchain. Now, what is an RPC protocol, you might ask? It is basically computer-to-computer service requests. So a computer that talks to another computer. That is computers communicating with each other. So this is basically a TCP IP type standard protocol, which stands for you got a blockchain, you got an application, and you got this thing right here, and it's an intermediary standardization protocol that helps guide the connection between these two. That is basically what it does. So current blockchains run on a centralized service like Infura that offer, because current blockchains do not pay for their infrastructure. They just pay for the data to be stored on the blockchain or for transactions. It's basically, they pay for the blockchains pay for their security, and they also pay for adding data to their history. But they don't pay for that history, and they don't pay for the access to the history and the infrastructure for that history. So that's an unfortunate design flaw of many blockchains. This project hopes to address that by incentivizing people to offer what is called a full node service. Full node service meaning the history of the blockchain. So basically, they can get incentivized if they provide the history of the blockchain. So this project hopes to incentivize people to run the infrastructure of blockchains, popular blockchains. So blockchain, it's a blockchain relay network for decentralized infrastructure and full node operation. So when we say relay, we're talking about source and destination do not communicate directly, right? So it's relaying between between, like, this is the dApps, this is Pocket Network, and this is the blockchains. Just to reiterate what I mentioned before. It is built on Tendermint technology, or Cosmos's software development kit. It is, developers need RPCs to buy and stake POKT for their services. So basically, if developers want to access standardized blockchain services, they have to buy and stake Pocket Network. So how do they accomplish this? First, they coordinate dApp requests to random nodes in the network, and they have full node incentives through token economics, and they stake Pocket to allow for requests, and Pocket is its own blockchain. So this thing has its own history, the Pocket Network. So basically, just, this is the picture of what it does. Now, to get more into the weeds, so to speak, I'll try to make it as brief as possible, but this is the model of Pocket, basically. And you have your protocol with about 10,000 transactions per second. Here, maybe I can blank some of these things out so we can track what we do here. So you have your Pocket Network, and basically you have developers, and you have the people running full nodes. Now, this protocol creates a marketplace for people running full nodes. Therefore, the history of Ethereum, the history of Bitcoin will be incentivized because these guys can charge fees for their, offering the full node, and they can get paid in Pocket for providing that service. So you have these developers who want to build some kind of application, and they stake Pocket into the protocol, and that allows them to have RPC access, which that means it allows the developers to have access to people running, access to the people who are running the blockchain infrastructure. It allows them to have the standardized access points, the APIs, etc. API application programmer interface. That's the interfaces. So basically, it allows for developers to have an easy access point to blockchain services, and so they can build their applications with the tools that blockchains have, and they pay into the network in the form of inflation. because what they do is they stake Pocket to have access to the services, but they don't get the payout. And so they suffer inflation, and that is how they're in essence paying for these services. And what these developers do is they build dApps, which developer like users, etc. And the dApp stakes the the Pocket, and it establishes proof of relays, and that proof of relays, allows for the application to, or the people running full nodes have a proof of relays, and they provide that proof of relays to the blockchain, and it shows that they're operating the full node, they're providing their services. So because they're doing these nodes, because they're doing proof of relays, they send out the protocol pays them, the people running full nodes, so it checks, etc. So people running full nodes will charge some market rate. They will, they're not going to offer the full node if they're not profitable. So if this Pocket Network node is full nodes going offline, it'll have to raise how much it pays the full nodes, and it pays out to people running full nodes right here, the protocol and the payout in the form of inflation. Now I know this looks like it's kind of getting convoluted, but to me for me these models help me understand it. And so it's got all these mechanisms of bad behavior and punishes the nodes if they're not behaving properly using something called redundancy checks, etc. There's certain methods for doing that. And it's got a DAO structure on top of it that guides the inflation, and it also has a treasury. So all these here, because it's getting crowded. So this DAO structure, it's the economic policy, it controls inflation, it controls how these people running full nodes are getting paid, and how these developers are getting charged. So basically, this protocol is connecting developers to the people running blockchain infrastructure. That's the basics of what we need to know here. So now one thing to note, full nodes are not solved. This project gives a marketplace for full node charging, but it doesn't solve the fact that these full nodes might get expensive or whatever. It doesn't solve the fact that it doesn't solve the full node issue, but it does sit in between blockchains. So this project could benefit from blockchains that do have that properly. So one project I am going to compare this to that I've gone over recently is Sato. So we can really think about that. So you have traditional blockchains over here, and you have users. So for users, let's go over Sato first. Users connect to Sato, which connect to traditional blockchains. Sato solves throughput and service requests. So it solves that infrastructure thing as well. And it can work. Sato can work with traditional blockchains. And this could be this could be the done deal. This setup with users, Sato, traditional blockchains could be the full setup for for the future that we expect with blockchains, where there's infinite throughput because of Sato, and data storage is only storing the necessary bits, and it could be some kind of compressed most important information so that people don't lose their balances, etc. in the long run, but in the short run, whatever data it wants to get rid of, etc. Pocket Network does not solve throughput issue, but what it does solve is the service request issue. So it incentivizes, it in a sense solves the blockchain full node and infrastructure issues, but it doesn't solve the throughput issues because many blockchains limit their throughput in order to not grow the blockchain faster. And so even Pocket itself is going to have its own blockchain, which, these blockchains by design limit throughput. But when you get rid of data, you can open up the floodgates and allow as much throughput as you want. So these by design limit throughput. So that's the differences, the nuanced differences between these two. And so I could see Pocket being successful, because it does provide an important infrastructure component, just like Sato does. Pocket can grow as big as the slow blockchains will allow. Now remember, Pocket's not that slow. It has 10,000 transactions per second because it's on that Tendermint consensus decision. So it's not slow, but but these blockchains are going to still be slow. It doesn't speed up Ethereum, right? That you're interacting, but with Pocket Network. But what it does do is ensure that your access to Ethereum goes uninterrupted. You get what I'm saying, right? Like it can still be slow, but now at least we know that the full stack of user, Pocket, Ethereum is decentralized, so we don't have to trust a service like Infura. This is a step forward in my opinion. They see a world with many blockchains, and so they can be intermediary between those blockchains and service provide, etc. So that's the basics. That's a run through of what they do. Now, regarding token performance, I'm going to get into that right now. So full future increase in demand of token, I expect that to be the case. Future price FOMO, I could expect that to be the case. It is early with social media. It's on the lower end of awareness. Regarding major upcoming events, it is basically going to, on a basic, it's just going to be adoption-based focus because it is out and up and running. So as far as their timeline, it's just focusing on acquiring users. Low inflation rate. The inflation is controlled by the DAO, so that should represent the interest of the entity as this is. Dividend, there's no dividend, but movement of price to time value of money. So income minus inflation equals the growth of the token's value, and that kind of stuff will be controlled by the DAO once again. Now, token supply distribution. Because of that, I said that wasn't as relevant. But in reality, I actually should make these things yellow. It's actually something that is a negative because if this thing doesn't glitch out, because I realized that they said that the control of the DAO is the token is not the ultimate authority, it's based on some merit components, which is pros and cons. You can see it for yourself. But for me, as the token holder, if I was holding the token, I'd want the token to be the ultimate authority, meaning the token is control of the DAO. But in this case, there's merit-based buy-in controls of the DAO. So like if you're a certain player in this ecosystem, you get some kind of vote, and they have different weight mechanisms for that, and it is not based solely on holding the token. So you can see that as pros and cons. That means that the DAO might make decisions that don't benefit token holders because you don't you can get control of this entity as a DAO holder, but but it's not strictly based on holding the token. It is based on being involved with this system. So that means that you are a player in this system. So you will vote for your different interests based on where that position is. But so you can see that there might become a divergence there. And so I put that as something I didn't like. That the token is not the ultimate authority. In something like Polkadot has the belief that the token is the ultimate authority, and that's something I like about that project in particular. Now, time lock, wait to vote. They don't have that, so that's something that's not relevant. They do have an apathy solution because the people involved are merit-based, So we could expect quality mechanism of quality to be good. And technical groups are involved with the DAO. So it's important that the DAO structure is good. So, these are pros, to being merit-based. But overall, you might see things differently, but this is the way I see things. I said quality actions. There's a potentiality of them maybe making decisions that aren't benefiting token holders because the token isn't the ultimate authority. And as well as some of the other negative things, this thing doesn't have a low market cap. It is a $1 billion entity, so that's pretty large. $1 billion market cap is a pretty large thing. Now, regarding price action, it is good price action. It is down because everything's down right now because it's a bear market, so people are acting fearful. So it is a good time to enter this project if you do see it having a future. Now, money needed move up, price decreases. I did. These are ultimate conclusions, like when I arrived at ultimate conclusions, I still saw that I see token on the sell side decrease, and I still think that it could perform well. Tokens per person to go down, I expect that to be the case. It does have exponential growth of its service provided, which is serving a niche now. That is a great thing to have. That's what you want, real world adoption with fees being charged. First mover, They are, they have the full node operators incentivized, so they are the first live with that. So that is good. Network effect, thus, will probably be one from that. Now, as regarding traditional business moats and flywheels and things like that, I don't think there are any. Because, like if someone else got a deeper service and it's easy to switch over to those APIs, people might do that. But, this project is saying that it's pretty much at cost. So if that's the case, then that would be the moat. But, then what would be the benefit if they're selling a service at cost? So you got to consider all these things in what you're thinking about. Best option of the competition, I just put that as neutral. Developer experience. So, this thing is going to have developers involved because they're getting paid from the DAO and the treasury and high value upgrades, etc. And the DAO will vote for all of those things. Value of services provided to increase. I expect that to be the case, and user experience will be good. And regarding major onboards, they have these VCs that have been investing with them. One is Venture DAO. So this project was largely funded by a DAO, which is interesting. So, hey, guys, that's an important thing to consider, that this DAO, this entity is a DAO, which was funded by another DAO. DAOs are the way the business will happen in the future. That's why blockchain is going to be a $200 trillion asset class. And right now it is less than 2 trillion. So we're talking about 100x for crypto in general. So it's a good place to be. Crypto is a good place to be because of DAOs are the new business entities, and they're going to get advanced. They're going to be programmed in different ways, and they're going to do different things and do powerful stuff. This technology is not going away. It's going to take over the world. Now, so that's an important trend to identify, to see that this DAO was established and paid for, funded by another DAO, which is quite amazing. And that's where we are in crypto. Like, we're getting there, and we're getting towards the vision, and it is happening. Regarding vision, they want to be TCP of the Web3, which is a good vision to have. So that's a good thing right there. Evidence that the management is trustworthy. Well, the CEO is Michael O'Rourke, mobile developer, family office software, home automation systems. That's some of his experience. He worked at a company called Nuance One Plus Labs, which is makes blockchains. That's the most I can find on that. There wasn't a lot of information. Now, an interesting thing regarding the metaverse, they do have this one guy working for them that is their protocol specialist. He worked for Waymo, Magic Leap, and Twitter. But the thing that's interesting is Magic Leap and Waymo. These are both things that model 3D reality. So that is interesting that they have this developer on their team. So that might mean that this project could be a good interface for the metaverse, TCP for the metaverse of the blockchains and the front end components, dApps, etc. So it could play that because they might be building that stack with that kind of developer. So that is interesting. The CEO score, I put 8.2 because he did create a $1 billion entity, which is his company. So it's a self-fulfilling thing. $1 billion startup with 1 million customers or 1 million node requests. That is good enough as 1 million customers. So there we go. I said that was a strong CEO. Large business models that demand a token. I did put that this was on the higher end, which is a good thing, that because it's really built to service developers, which will be businesses. So that large businesses, all they need is a successful application on them, and that will be a large entity that's buying their product. Fees that burn tokens, they have the buy and burn effect is similar with the way it's structured regarding application buyers buying and staking and holding it out of circulation. Now, is it regarding the core components, which is one of the things I usually go over first, is a token used for services. It is a proof of stake blockchain. Nodes earn by filling API requests. You stake DOT as an app developer for some network in relays per hour. That's the way it's priced. And payments to POKT network in the form of diluted worth of stake through inflation. So the token is staked to participate in the network. Yes, the token is important and it plays that role. I wish it had more of a vote. But they said that the token isn't simply a vote. But I would like it to have maybe a partial vote, like a guaranteed partial vote. That way that they're going to represent the value of the token holder. That's one of my things that I didn't like. Now, the value of the target market is large. I would absolutely say so. RPC layer of Web3. This could be massive. It coordinates users, devs, infrastructure, and it provides decentralized coordination. It's basically decentralized coordination of all those players and allows for those full nodes to get compensated so that they actually provide the blockchain infrastructure. All right, guys. Now regarding the last final thing, the summary. Low market cap with accomplished CEO. It is not a low market cap, so I said no. Early social media. I did say yes. This is early for not a lot of people are aware of it. Live niche, yes. Pros. It's live and vastly needed service, DAO governed and decentralized. The cons requires work to avoid inflation. So if you are going to buy this isn't a token that you buy and hold. This is a token that you must participate in node operations, RPC answering, because you will be diluted away. As a holder, you will be one of the payers of the network. If you just buy and hold a token, you got to participate in this token's ecosystem in order to avoid that inflationary component. And token is not main form of representation. So those were the things that I said were the cons. I think I covered everything. Yeah, okay, so that is it. And next I will do my Patreon decisions based on this token. But as of now, that is the overview. And I hope if you guys like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. And I hope to bring the most unbiased information about blockchains available on the web.